So the question that could potentially make you millions of dollars is this. Do I invest right now or do I wait for a dip? Do I invest right now after the market just ran up 27%? Is this justified? Is it a bubble? Or is it just getting started? I don't want to wait for a dip, but then the market goes to the moon. But I also don't want to put all my money into the market right now and then it crashes down lower. That is exactly what we're going to cover in this video right here. And we got to start out on the fear greed index. So we all know when there is fear in the market, that is when you want to be bullish. And when there is greed in the market, that is usually when you want to be bearish overall. Right now, there's a lot of greed in the market. There's euphoria. We just saw the market do one of the fastest 6-week rallies that we have ever seen in the last 50 years. One of the fastest. It's insane how much this market just went up. But when we actually understand the mechanism behind why the market went up, it's going to look a little bit different than what you actually think. And you might want to invest everything right now, and you might not want to wait for a dip. I know that sounds crazy, but let me explain to you my thesis overall in this video and why I think you're going to look at this a little bit differently and how you can make a lot of money on this too. So traditionally speaking, like we just said, we're greedy, we should be cautious, we should de-risk our portfolios, we shouldn't want to add a bunch of risk in our portfolios. Looking down a little bit, we could see clearly that we are above the 125-day moving average. Again, correlates to the stock market being a little bit expensive. Down here when the market dipped for the Iran thing, we were stretched below the 125-day moving average, so we know that when we were below it, the future returns look good. We know down here, when we were basically at it, the future returns look very, very good. But usually the higher that you get above it, there is potential that you're not going to make as much money going forward. So looking at what we just talked about so far, if you want to wait for a dip to allocate a bunch of your money, it might make sense to do it. But before we go draw conclusions right away and just say, okay, the market went up, it's expensive, it's out of control, we're going to wait for a dip, you're not looking at the full picture. You have to understand why the market went up. And when you understand that, everything is going to come together of do you invest right now or do you wait for a dip? Take a look at this report. This is a humongous needle mover report that just came out. For the S&P 500, the biggest 500 companies in America, 91% of them just reported Q1 of 2026 numbers. Of this 91%, which is basically the whole index, 84% of them beat earnings per share expectations and 80% beat revenue expectations. Why does that matter? Well, because the revenue is going up and the earnings per share is going up, right? That's what we want to see. And when you understand that they didn't just beat earnings per share, they smoked it. They clobbered expectations. You can see that the earnings growth rate for the S&P 500 is 27.7%. Just to put that in perspective, the typical returns for the S&P 500 is about 10% in the last 50 years. The reason why the S&P typically goes up 10% for the actual index itself is because the companies within, on average, grow their profits at about 10% per year. 10% profit growth, 10% index growth. That's no surprise that where the profits go is where the share price is going to go. What we are seeing right now is earnings growth 27% year over year. Very untypical, almost triple what is normal. So when we go look at this chart again, it's like what we're seeing right here is a very abnormal move of the actual index itself too, but a lot of it is justified because the profit growth is very abnormal. The profit growth is way more than normal. So when the profit growth is more than normal, we should expect more than normal returns, right? But hey, I'm going to be straight with you guys right now. I think the market went up a little bit more than what is justified. I don't think it's going to crash. I don't think we have to crash. I just think that future expected returns from where we are at right now in the market are not going to look like the last month or two, guys. It's going to take a breather. It has to. The stock market will follow where the profits go in the long term. And right now we are a little bit disconnected from where the profits are actually at. So I want to show you this chart right here. It's going to put a lot of this in perspective of do I invest right now or do I wait for a dip? Comparing lump sum investing versus dollar cost averaging. So what we're going to look at is a rolling 10-year period of time where if you had invested just $1 million immediately in the U.S. stock market, which is the S&P 500, versus dollar cost average. So lump sum versus DCA, 10-year period of time, $1 million invested. Let's scroll down and take a look how the actual chart looks. If you go 100% into the actual S&P 500, if you would have done an LSI, a lump sum investment, your average ROI in the 10-year period would be 74.8%. If you would have done a dollar cost average, it would have been 25%. Those returns go from 1950 to 2021. So that is a lot of data. That is 71 years of data that says if we randomly pick a period of time, a 10-year block of time, and we say do a lump sum or do a dollar cost average, which one's typically going to do better? It's the lump sum investment. And the fine details definitely matter. In a dollar cost average scenario, the money is invested evenly over 12 months and then held for the remaining of the 9 years. Using 10-year return data, of course, we get it. So while it might feel uncomfortable to lump sum into the market right now, and maybe you just want to go do a 12 or a 24-month dollar cost average, the data shows that you're probably not going to invest at the top of 2000. You're probably not going to invest at the top of 2008. Everyone could just go hyper-focus their eyes on those really bad events that happened, and it's like, Brandon, what if this is .com crash right now? Look, I don't think it is. Valuations are nowhere near what it was back then. The stock market is not a bubble, in my opinion. But what the stock market is it's going to be volatile going forward. There's going to be a lot of bumps along the way. There's going to be a lot of volatility. There's going to be a lot of things to worry about. There's going to be a lot of just bad things that happen in the next few years, right? And, the question I'm going to throw back to you on this video, and you could comment below, it's like, if you claim that you're going to wait for a dip to invest, why are you even watching this video right now? Why didn't you just invest on this dip right here? Why didn't you just invest on this dip right here? Or this little dip, or this dip right here? Why are you not invested right now? Is it because when the market fell, you got nervous? Probably. And here's the obvious thing that is so obvious, but people just don't let it click in their heads. When the market falls, it falls for a reason, right? It doesn't just go down 20 or 30% because it feels like it. It goes down because there's a negative catalyst. Like looking back at the chart, what was the negative catalyst right here with the NASDAQ? I believe it fell 35% from peak to trough. Yeah, 35%. What was the negative catalyst right here? We came out of COVID. Interest rates got raised a lot. Jerome Powell was raising interest rates by 0.75% multiple meetings in a row because inflation went to 9% post-COVID. That really is a bad event, right? The market went down 35% on that. So down here, people are like, oh my God, we have runaway inflation. The U.S. economy is going to collapse. We're printing money. Debt's going to get out of control. Interest rates are going to go to the moon. Like, it's never going to work out in the stock market ever again. The whole world economy is going to collapse. That's what people were thinking right here. But how did that pan out? How much is the stock market up from that event? 170%, right? Like a lot. Pretty crazy. Now, if we look at what happened right here for tariffs, think about what the tariffs meant and what happened on Liberation Day where Trump came out with that card. I visualized it, and it's like the percent that we're going to put every country at and where they currently tariff us at, in a way, is what he said. It was like way more than people were expecting. And when that happened, the market dumped. The market fell about 21% right here in literally just a couple weeks. The market fell very, very fast right here. So what were people again thinking down here? Oh my God, it's the end of the world. China's going to take over. The dollar is done. How are we ever going to dig ourselves out of that? Trump is ruining the economy. And look, I'm not political. I don't even vote. I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican. I'm just telling you what people were saying back then. So don't get mad at me for that. People were panicking. And I go on the spaces on X and watch other people's YouTube videos and just see all the negative bearish sentiment out there. People were freaking the heck out right here. But guess what? Was it the end of the world? Was it a good time to buy the dip? Sure was, at least to right now. So it's like, why didn't you buy the dip right here? Because you were scared there was something bad to worry about. Okay, what about Iran? Oh my God, World War III, Brandon, oil, Strait of Hormuz, inflation, interest rates, runaway inflation. What are we going to do with all this stuff? And the overarching thing in the background was the report that we just went through. Earnings per share growth is what drives the market in the long term. It will be bumpy and volatile along the way. It is not going to be straight up and to the right, which I get it the last few years it kind of has been like that, but it's because the profits have been like that. Where the profits go dictate where the market's going to go. So, hey, maybe we have a reversal and the market comes down below the earnings per share growth line. Like, let me remove this line, and it would be totally justified to say, hey, what if the market falls to somewhere around right here and the market falls 12% and we're a little bit below the earnings per share growth line? Oh my God, Brandon, the market's crashing. The world is ending. We didn't get a really big deal with China. NVIDIA can't send their chips there and they're just not opening up the market. And now China wants to take Taiwan. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. Look, We've been through World War I, World War II, COVID, 9/11, 1987, 2008, 2001, whatever. We've been through a lot. The market's now at all-time highs. It's probably going to continue to hit all-time highs in the long term as long as America doesn't fail. So when you understand that and you accept that there's going to be a lot of volatility, you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care that the market falls. You shouldn't care that the market goes up. You should care where the profits go, where the actual fundamental value of your businesses go. And where that goes is going to dictate where the actual stock market goes. So maybe the market was a little bit hot right here. Hey, it went down, but then it went down too much. Hey, maybe the market was cheap right here. Now it's too cheap, and then it went up too much. So the market's just going to bounce above and below this line in the long term. And when the market goes below it, there's always going to be something to worry about and be fearful about, but that is the best time to allocate. So right now, should you lump sum into the market? My answer is it depends what you want to do. If you are sitting here telling me that you are very young and you have a decade or two at a minimum of time horizon for the market, sure, lump sum in. You're probably going to be a statistic on this chart right here that shows lump summing in to 100% equities, which are stocks, is going to do better than doing a dollar cost average DCA. That's the statistic that you're going to be. But if you were to sit here and tell me, Brandon, I want to lump sum into the market, but I need that money back in 3 or 4 or 5 years, maybe from right now, I would then say, no, don't put any of it in the stock market because the market's a little bit overvalued right now, in my opinion, and you're going to experience a lot of volatility going forward. So what if you buy into the market right here, and then 2 years later, you need that money to go buy a house or go buy a business or whatever you're going to do with it? You're going to be forced to sell it for less than what you put it in at. You lost money, and you kind of sold on the bottom per se. But if you would have had a 5-year horizon or longer, you would have did good, right? You would have weathered the storm and then up and to the right because profits went up and to the right. So that overall is where the money is at. If you extend your time horizon, sure, lump sum in, the data shows that. Go look up your own data. But if you're not comfortable doing a lump sum, I'm also not against doing a dollar cost average right now, simply because we are above the earnings per share growth line. The totality of the data tells me that we are a little bit expensive. I'm not against doing a 12-month dollar cost average, even though this chart says not to do it, because this chart is factoring in random periods of time. I'm factoring in right now, today. The market's a little bit hot. So here's what you could do, and let me flip this to the share price so it's a little bit easier to understand. Do a 12-month dollar cost average. Every month, you just put in 1/12 of your investable amount. If you have $120,000 in cash to invest, take $120,000, divide it by 12. That's $10,000 per month of how you allocate your portfolio. We could talk about really, really quick overall allocation of what I would maybe consider doing, and I'll show you what I'm doing. But that's what you do. Every month, like clockwork, you put in 1/12 of your money, $10,000 per month, $120,000 cash in total. If the market continues to go up and to the right, hey, you're going to wish that you did a lump sum because you didn't have all your money invested and then caught that return. But hey, if we're something like here, for example, right now, where the market's a little bit extended, you're going to dollar cost average. Hey, you got a little bit of a deal the next month. Okay, it went back up, same prices, whatever. But then it's going down, down, down. Right here, if we see a significant dip on the market, then instead of doing 1/12 of your DCA, if you're doing a 24-month DCA, maybe do 2 months of your DCA when the market falls. And if it goes down more, do another 2 months. And then maybe you burn through all your cash in a total of 4 or 5 months from right now, which is possible. But what you're doing is you're buying the dip. You're allocating when it makes sense to allocate. You are buying the fear. You are going to see the fear greed index go fearful. And what you are doing when the market is fearful is you are allocating more. You're allocating when the needle is now on the left-hand side, buying things when they're on sale, buying things when they're a dip. And we all know when things are on sale, when they dip below the earnings per share growth line, the future returns from that point look pretty darn good. So understand where we're at overall for the market, take that conviction, apply it to single stocks, and then just move on with your life. So if you want to do a lump sum investment right now with a long-term horizon, I'm cool with it. But also if you want to do a DCA because you're scared and you don't want to deal with the volatility and you don't want to blow your load on the top, fine. 12-month DCA, stick to the plan. Market falls down more, you allocate more. And if the market keeps going up, you just simply stick to it. So here's the stock sheet right now. I'm going to not show this stock sheet as much on YouTube because I feel like I show it too much and I don't want to make the Discord people mad. This is for Discord. There's like so many other things I do, like scorecards, bull bear scale, assignment value, IV sheets. There's just a lot of stuff going on that I do. This is just like one little thing that's part of Discord, by the way. 10-day stocks and option transformation below if you want to do it. But, right now I see the triple Q index is about 9% overvalued. S&P, which is VOO, is about 9% overvalued. It's prudent to be a little bit careful right now. And again, why I'm okay to do a dollar cost average instead of a lump sum. Like, we're going to experience volatility in this market. And one thing that I guess I didn't say it, but I should have said is profit growth is strong right now. And that's what's holding up this market. If profit growth takes a crap on us and it goes down or grows a lot slower, you're going to see a pretty big correction. I'll just leave it at that. Big correction. And if we see interest rates continue to go up because everyone's all worked up about oil and inflation, you're going to see the market come down. It's going to happen. The price earnings ratio level, the valuation level that we're trading at right now in the market, it's not going to be justified if interest rates go up and the growth slows down. I could guarantee you that. And again, that's exactly what happened right here on this 35% dip, literally just because interest rates went up post-COVID for inflation. So that overall is the video. You can win either way, but time in the market beats timing the market. If you want to lump sum in and you have a 10-year horizon, great. You're probably going to do just fine. And you'll probably do better than a DCA person. But if you're nervous and you're going to get emotional and psychological when the market goes down and you don't want to buy the quote top right now potentially, fine, do a 12-month dollar cost average, because I'd rather have you do a 12-month DCA and stick to the plan and actually invest for the long term versus doing a lump sum, the market falls 20% and you panic and sell the bottom. There's a human aspect here too of, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, as Mike Tyson says. So market's a little bit hot. I think in the long term, we're going to see a huge move to come. 10 years from right now, you're going to wish that you bought right now for sure. 99% chance. But if you refresh your account 14 times a day and look at the little near-term noise, sure, it's going to make you nervous. Maybe you did buy the top. But at the end of the day, profits are going up and to the right. They're going to continue to go up and to the right in the long term as long as America doesn't fail. We're going to do just fine. When you have a lot of conviction, of course, allocate stock options, how I talk about in my other videos. But that's what I got, guys. Keep your pants on. Keep your ratios in check. Expect a lot of volatility because we are going to get it. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.